help support myself.
Oh my God.
So like I don't know if I would do anything for like my man like as a priority. Obviously, like having a job.
Pull up the question, Chris.
Yep. Well, I mean, you're 18, so I mean.
Yeah, like I
not...
just graduated high school.
I mean, I feel like I see where you guys are getting at. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all can correct me, right? I feel like I see what y'all getting at, but like, there's only so many niggas who can like support a girl. Like, you don't have to work. Like, the average income is like what, $50,000.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like there's not that many guys around who could do that. You know what I'm saying? Who could like, hey, stop working, let me fly you around. Like, that's like kind of rare.
They still gotta pay bills too.
Yeah, they still gotta live. They still gotta live
rent,
life, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that's not what they're asking, right? You guys are asking, like, what's your main priority? So what are you doing to set yourself up for what you want in the future? So are you mainly prioritizing long-term that relationship, possibly being a mother, being a wife? Or is the priority more so, is the priority more so catered
towards... It's a two-part question, but no one's brought up family until you just brought up, which is hilarious. What about you?
Sorry.
So of course, like your job or whatever, I feel like that's just a daily responsibility, and like you can hate or like the answer I'm going to give, but my biggest priority in life right now is sacrificing my personal wants and just letting like God take the course of my life. I've been really trying to give up my personal needs, and I think that would help me honestly get the husband I'm looking for in the future, because I think building my relationship with him, and like when you strive to talk to him every day and love him correctly, that follows over into your relationship with your husband, I would think. So
wait, so what's your number one priorities in life right now?
Like
specifically,
I just think like work and things like that is just like a daily thing, not really like a priority. Like you have to do that. You have to go to work. You have to do a healthy, balanced lifestyle.
Okay, so like your number one priority, would you say it's work then? Or is that just something that you're kind of doing right now?
That's just like I'm always going to work, but that's not like my priority.
Sounds like your relationship with God.
Yeah, my relationship with God is my priority.
Okay, and then the question is, do you think that you prioritizing God is going to be conducive to finding the man that you inevitably want to settle with?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
So your thing is religion.
Yeah, right now I'm just growing on my personal relationship with him. Like I grew up in church and things like that, but I was never really invested.
When did you become religious? Have this religious awakening?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's religion. It's more of just like a personal relationship. It's not necessarily like, I don't know if that makes sense.
So you talk to God one-on-one, basically.
Yeah.
And you read the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's through Christianity.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm just coming to the logical conclusion.
She's putting aside the traditional go to church, pray, get baptized. She's saying, you know what? I'm building a personal relationship with God one-on-one, and she wants to see where it's going to take her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then too, you said you were out of the two, you were more trouble, which means you probably had a checkered past a little bit.
Yeah, but I think it helps you like go towards him more, because it's like my way is never going to work. Like how I live my life now, I know that wasn't like me who did that. I mean, if that makes sense.
So who was it then?
So like it was with prayer, and like yes, you have free will or whatever, but like he worked through me to do a lot of things that I've changed personally myself, and that doesn't have to make sense to you.
No, I get what you're saying,
makes sense to me.
Also, you just kicked it with the sinners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mary Magdalene was like a fucking prostitute, and then he wiped her up. That's what really happened.
Okay.
Legend has it.
No, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because when you go through a lot of shit and you cause a lot of shit, go through shit and you possibly cause it through your actions and how you are, then it can cause you to seek, those things more so, like seek a relationship with God. So I completely agree with you in that regard. For me, so I'm a bit older than most of the women on this panel. Play the sound if you want, Chris. I'm 28 years old nearly. And for me, like I have moved across the world. I've made a lot of money. I've done all of the things. And you know what? None of it's ever made me fully happy. You hit a goal and it's like, okay, what the fuck is next? And, even down to a scientific level, there's really only four main happiness chemicals in the brain. The top one that overrides everything is a chemical called oxytocin. And you can only get that through genuine devotion and love and pursuit of other people in your life. And yeah, you can do that through your work. You can do that through service of other people. But the easiest way to do that is through your husband, your family, and serving those people within your immediate circle. And so I've realized that no matter how much I achieve, on literally a scientific level and a philosophic level, it will never supersede me creating my own family and creating my own legacy.
So knowing that, do you think women are pursuing an empty
Yes.
future, pursuing a career in status and income?
Yes.
Does anyone here on the panel agree or disagree with that? Because some of you guys seem to be...
I think you can still sorry to cut you off. I think you can still pursue a career, but you just need to be very aware. What are your priorities? What is most important? And what are you willing to sacrifice? That's what it comes down to. What are you willing to sacrifice to actually get what you want? And ultimately, your decision is going to tell you what you place more importance on.
Real quick, for the girls that said career, because it seems like, well, actually, all four of you said a career.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with that? Or do you guys say, no, the money and the status is going to fulfill me?
I agree.
In the career.
I agree. I just feel like when the right man comes into play, then I'll sacrifice those things.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I think because you're a little bit older than us, and I'm even older than you guys, I think our priorities are, more career oriented, but I think there's a time.
Do you also agree with that, or do you disagree? It's okay to disagree.
No, I agree. Like, careers for us, like for me, especially is important than a relationship. Like, career
is more important than a relationship.
Yeah, like it depends.
So you disagree with her then?
Yes, it depends the type of guy.
Well, it's just like, it's not the reason this conversation is confusing me, or this topic in general, just because it's just not binary. It's not like you gotta not have a career to have a husband, and you gotta and if you have a career, you can't have a. It's like, it's not binary. Like, you can have two things can be true, bro.
Exactly.
It's like, and what you're saying is, the guy may not care, right? Oh, she's a fucking CEO, let me fuck her, right? He might not be thinking that, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be a deterrent. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be a deterrent. It's not binary.
Yeah,
my nigga, you know
we're not saying that it's not possible. We're just saying, for example, if she chooses that career path, what is the end goal for her? Does she want his family still? Because it's like a cycle. You go on this path of like career, you're so focused on that, you don't think about anything else. And then when it's too late, you're like, damn, where's my family? So
why is that? Why is it? Who says it's like that? It's not. It doesn't have to be binary like that. That's. But I'm sure it happens. But that doesn't have to be like that. You can say that about anything. It's like, oh, Brandon, he fucking works out twice a day and counts his macros. He's not focused on money. Like, no, I focus on both. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a good father, right? Like, you can have different. You can succeed at multiple things.
But again, that comes down to your sacrifice, right? So what are you willing? What is your ultimate goal? And right, clarity of mind and your ultimate destination is very, very important. You're a motivation guy, right? So clarity, having that end goal in mind. So as a woman, what are you willing to sacrifice for? Are you willing to sacrifice more for your family, the people you're dating, your loved one, or are you willing to sacrifice more so that career? And having that distinction in mind is
Why
very.
Are you yelling at me?
I'm sorry. I just speak loud in general. I'm sorry.
She's awesome. You got to take it down a notch, man. Your Australian accent.
I'll take it down like Bible.
You sound like Peppa Pig.
I'm not trying to.
Like, you just got to take it down a
Peppa
notch.
Pig?
Yeah, I mean, that's a term of endearment.
That's hilarious. No.
You know what I'm saying?
I gotta take it down a notch, man. Yeah, my speaking voice is a yelling voice. I do apologize. I'm really not trying to go off
inside voices.
Yeah. I have not yet really found that inside voice, so I apologize.
But,
I'm really not trying to go off on you, and I like your work as well. I really do. I love your videos. I love your psychological stuff that you draw from. I'm not trying to go off on you.
No,
I'm
it's
just
cool.
saying.
It's like it's literally like loud. Like you're right here. And it's
right.
Like I'm not trying to clown you either. It's just like super loud. So like, yo.
You can have it all, yeah.
It's not binary. It's not binary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like if you do this, you can't do that.
I just don't understand the sacrifice part. I don't know. Like, what do you mean?
I think she's
so. Do you want me to clarify?
Maybe I'm missing something. Like if you can express that,
sure,
if you can articulate yourself in a calm manner.
Okay, I'll try to keep my voice several decibels down. No, I really apologize. This is a thing that happens. My speaking voice is literally like it comes out yelling a lot of the time. So imagine when I'm yelling.
I believe you, though. I believe you. I believe you can get this point across.
I definitely can. So here we go. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Ultimately, clarity is everything, right? Being able to see the end in mind and having that clarity, that depth of vision. And for guys, that's oftentimes a lot of the time easier because having a family does not come at an expense of a career because the two are not mutually exclusive. Whereas for a woman, oftentimes it is because it's very hard to direct equal amount of focus into both things. So I think if you really want to be a person who is self-directed, who knows what you want in life and who gives yourself the best opportunity to be able to actually achieve that, being able to clearly define it very early on is key. Therefore, being able to differentiate, okay, family, career. It's not to say that you can't have both, but which one are you going to prioritize ultimately, and being able to make those decisions very early on and decide what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get to that goal.
Even if we go with that premise, right? What do they do in the meantime? That I guess that's my main question. Like, yeah, okay, if you want to sacrifice and give up everything for a man, that's cool. Like, that's cool. Like, that's cool. Like, my girl quit her job, moved to Miami. It's all good, right? But what the fuck do they do in the meantime?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then because they got to do something in the meantime.
Right.
And who's to say that they find this fucking guy, right? There's only there's like statistically, there's not many fucking guys who can afford to do that.
True.
Right. So now they should just sacrifice any chance of making money in the hopes that they find, like, how many you guys pull up the stats all the time. There's not that many fucking guys, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Fucking,
how many?
You know how many? What percentage of Americans make $10,000 a month? Do you know?
It's less than it's the top 2 to 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's extremely
you know
rare.
what I'm saying? So it's like, so all these women that come are supposed to like do fucking nothing.
And that's something that I do have.
And hoping they find there's not enough guys.
I
what
get
are they
that.
going to do?
That's something I would probably direct to these guys as well, because I'm curious about that in the red pill space. It's like, oh, I'd rather a girl who does nothing because, you know, she's more easily moldable and this and that. That's not going to be realistic for every single woman. So I totally get what you're saying. But I think what they're talking about is ultimately when you are entirely career driven, you're going to ultimately end up absorbing and exemplifying a lot of characteristics that maybe take you out of the ideal mother, the ideal partner, because oftentimes in order to succeed in your career, you do need to kind of take on more masculine characteristics, which can sometimes maybe make you not as sensitive as a partner, maybe not as empathetic as a mother, these various other things. So I think it's not more so about it's this or that, but more so being mindful of these things and these various different things that really impact the journey, and ultimately knowing where you want to go and making your decisions accordingly. It's not like it's this or that, but just having more awareness. I
feel what you're saying, right? But you can be this way at work and be a different way at home. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's what they're saying you can't be. Like, Myron literally says that you can't.
That's literally bullshit. Because I was raised by a fucking woman who worked fucking hard. She woke me up at 4. She woke me up at like 5 a.m., walked me to preschool. You know what I'm saying? Then got on the bus and fucking went to work. And it worked on the fucking weekends too. I had to go to the office with my dad on the weekends, right? It's like, but she was a good mom, loving mother. She fucking cooked, cleaned everything. And I'm not saying that's the ideal situation. I'm just saying it's possible for these girls who are fucking 18, right, to like get a job. And if they find the guy that's willing to take care of them, to switch roles. That's all I'm saying.
Totally.
It's honestly possible, right? You don't have to just. It's like what it sounds like. You're telling these girls, "Hey, you guys shouldn't do fucking nothing."
That's not what I'm trying to say.
I know. Cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is how it's coming off, right? So if I'm wrong, please correct me. Right? It sounds like you girls want to work, but you 18. You want to go to school, get a job. The fuck are you doing, man? You need to be out here looking for a baller, right? Like that.
That's not what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Where I see some contradictions because there literally aren't enough high value men to take care of all of these women here. So I totally get it. But what I'm saying, all I can speak from is my personal experience, right? And I know from the age of 18 to like 26, 27, right? Just from the last couple of years, I've made a lot of money. I've done a lot of things. I moved across the world. I've traveled, and none of it ever made me fulfilled. That's what I know. And I can agree with what you're saying. I know that oftentimes that fulfillment can come from a higher power, can come from God. But I think that really what we're meant to do on this earth from literally a biological level is to procreate, is to pass down the genes.
No one's saying you can't do that, man.
But they're saying, what is the top priority? The question is literally, what is your top priority and what are you willing to do to be able to make that happen? That is the question. It's not, can you do one or the other?
But I know you're you're changing about like fulfillment and all this shit. Like, yo, money is not supposed to make you happy. Money's job is to be exchanged for goods and services.
Exactly.
Right? That's the only thing it does, right? Like, nothing should make you happy or say you should be in charge of your own emotions. Now, unless you're telling me women are incapable of that, and maybe that's the argument, right? Like, maybe that's the argument. But like, you should be in charge. You should be control your own emotions, right? Money's job is not to make you happy. It's to provide for your family. Money's job is to be able to take care of yourself if shit hits the fan, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what money's for. Money's not supposed to make you happy. You can do other shit to make yourself happy, or
I literally get what you're saying. I just think that for guys, it's very easy to make those two things not mutually exclusive. It's easy to have a family. It's easy to do that.
But
for
women aren't capable of.
No, I'm not saying it's not capable. I'm saying it's a lot more difficult, and they will start to realize that when they get to my age. You don't realize it until you get to the 26, 27, 28. Maybe if you've been in a long-term relationship and where the guy is willing to support you through all of that, maybe not so much. But what I'm saying is someone who has been career focused for most of my life, that has been my main priority. It doesn't work out the best in your relationships. And ultimately, that's not what's going to make you happy. It's not what's going to make you sleep well at night.
Right. But I'm saying these girls are single. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
I know,
if you got a relationship and you want to change course, like what happened to you is you focused on your career, and it sounds like you fucked up your relationships as a result.
Not necessarily, but I'm able to recognize that maybe
it wasn't the best.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
They're single. What are they supposed to do?
Right? Like, and they're also
that's what I'm saying.
What I was saying is, I'm 18. My priority is to get a job, and I still want to be a mother and like and a wife. But like, I also want to have a job.
Like, these girls are fucking children. Like, what are you trying to tell them to do?
When I have that, I'm only gonna have that. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna be like all over my job, but I want to have the job when I love my family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm definitely not telling you guys to just work at McDonald's or something. I mean, I know that's something that some red pillars say, like, hey, I'd rather date a girl who just works. Like, I don't agree with that. I think that when you're able to provide some intellectual stimulation, you have some value and utility you can bring to the world. I think that's great. That's fantastic. And if your career builds you up to do that, then great. But what I'm saying is just don't lose sight of what's actually like really matters, like in here, for what you want to pursue, for the expedient shit.
That's a good point. Don't lose sight of it. But like,
that's all I'm trying to say as well.
These girls are literally children.
The question here was literally like, what is your long-term goal, and is that conducive to finding a husband? That's what I was answering on the basis of, not of me being an 18-year-old, brand new, fresh. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm talking from my perspective.
Okay. I get what you're saying. But I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these girls who are 18.
Can I give some better, like, more bounce? I'm sorry. Did you say something?
No, go ahead. Like I said, I've been listening here very closely because I came in the middle of this question. So I'm just taking notes on what you guys are saying. Go ahead, continue on.
I was just going to say, I think there's a better answer. I think you can do both. I think, like, if you get a job that's in a city that you want to start a family in, or meet somebody that you want to start a family in, or like, for me, I work remote. I can work from anywhere in the world. Like, being, like, in a way portable, you know what I mean? Like, somewhere where I work a job that I can work out at convenient times for my energy levels. You know what I mean? Like, doing something where putting yourself in social positions to meet the people that you want to meet, like other things where you can have both, where you can have a fulfilling day. You're proud of yourself, what you did at work, but you're not, taken away from the fact that you did your workout and you want to look nice and you want to dress up and you want to go meet a boy and see how it goes.
And think about this. There's only so many guys, right? You think about what industries they probably work in. The chick who's a financial analyst versus like a chick who doesn't have a job or something, who's in a better position to meet the kind of guy you guys are talking about?
Yeah.
Who's in a better position to meet? And if, you know what I'm saying, now if her career is more important than that relationship, then that's a different conversation. I'm just talking about, like, right now, while she's single.
But
like, I think she's in the right position.
Just because they can meet doesn't mean that he's going to want to take her serious.
True, but that's with any situation, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean,
but like, if you meet some fucking Biscayne hoe, right? That don't mean you gonna make her
the
serious.
people going to the conferences talking about finance are, mostly the guys that the girls want to meet. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. And the girl who can go on a trip to Europe next week is usually the girl who who can have enough PTO, or who can take her job with her, or things like that. You know what I mean? Like, there are traits that are more desirable.
Oh, the Wall Street guys I know, the girls they end up with
are their coworkers.